Hi everyone, I just thought after some faceting tutorials I would just like to have a look and show some beautiful sapphires and talk about the assessing of them, what can be done with them, and just see some beautiful sapphires. So this one belongs to a friend. It was mined in Ruby Vale, and I am going to be cutting it at some stage in the future. And it's a bit of a tricky one. If you look at when you're assessing, you've got to try to look at the shape, the colour zones, proportions, table, cross table, lots of things to consider when faceting a sapphire, especially a party colour sapphire. So this one is a quite elongated shape. It's 13.6 carats. It's pretty clean in the middle, although that bit of a pretty big divot there, right there. So that's going to make it quite a narrow stone, or it's going to lack a lot of depth. There's also that yellow zone we can see there in the cross table. That's sort of table there where you can see the blue. And then when we get green, we're back to cross table. So what do we do with this one? I've had my calipers all over it. I've looked at the shape, the colour, the zones. We want to try to keep that yellow, if possible, into the keel or the culet of the stone. And there is also sort of a natural keel happening there. You can see that there's already a natural pavilion. And luckily, the yellow bit is in the pavilion. Yay! Doesn't always work out like that. So I'm thinking we're going to get a lighter central part of the stone with blue ends, and we've got that divot there. So we're not going to cut it there. We wouldn't cut it there because that's already a natural keel, which would be in the pavilion. So what I'm thinking is actually putting a table smack bang there and getting rid of that little crater there until it's nice and smooth, and make that the table of the stone. And the only sort of cut I know of that can achieve the maximum usage of the dimensions and weight of this stone is going to be an emerald cut or a long freeform step cut. And I think it will be amazing because we're going to have the different colour zones accentuated by the step cut. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one will come out. Okay, this is a nice, it's about 10 carat stone. I purchased this one a couple of years ago from a local miner, and I really like the fact that it has, that's the cross table, that it has a yellow banding in the, what would hope to be the pavilion of the stone. I did run into a few flaws when pre-forming this one. There's a little flaw there just behind the tweezers. So I had to take off quite a bit of the rough. Now, the blue looks lovely, but it is very silky, and you can see there, it's quite silky, and it has some beautiful silk bands. So what do we do with this sort of rough? It's silky. The silk doesn't go all the way through by the looks of that. There's a little tiny flaw there, just behind the tweezers. Silky on table. That's why I've had this one for a couple of years, because I'm still not really convinced what I should do with it. Do I get it heat treated and try to get rid of some of that silk? I personally love those sort of colour bands, so I'm not sure whether to facet it, or this might be potentially one of those rare stones where we facet, it's got enough depth, we facet the pavilion and put a little cab on the top. So we're getting the best of both worlds, accentuating the silk. I don't think it'll throw a star. It might throw a little bit of a star, but just those silk bands will be lovely. And the faceted pavilion with the yellow in the bottom, maybe that will get a little bit of refraction coming up through the crown too. So that is a possibility for that stone. Okay, and here we have a bunch of little itty bitty sapphire crystals, little dog's tooths. I love these guys. I've been collecting them for years. These are only small, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 carats. And I'm really just keeping them to have as specimens. You can also polish them up, skin polish them, make them into... I like the idea of putting them on a charm bracelet. Having a jeweler put a little wrap of silver or gold around the top, a little saddle and a bail. But for me, they're just beautiful specimens. And here's some more. I just love them. Party colours, greens, blues. This is your... Oh, they're so tiny. Your crystal growth or your C-axis is on the end of these. So what we're looking at here is the cross table and all of these. So occasionally you'll get one that's suitable for faceting, maybe freeform faceting, but really I think either leave them natural as specimens, give them a bit of polish, skin polish, or just keep them as, collector's items. Mother Nature's amazing way of growing sapphires. Okay, star sapphires and skin polishers. These ones here are star sapphires. You may or may not be able to see through them. You can see the sheen, the bronze sheen, which is caused by the rutile or ilmenite inclusions in the stone. Some of them you can see through. A lot of stars are just black and bronze, what they call a black star or bronze star. And luckily you'll often get that little bit of a flat there, which tells you where table is. And that is where you need to cut a stone, a star sapphire. You need to have it dopped up, smack bang on table in order to get a centralized star. These ones I've probably kept aside because I need them really to be skin polished. They've got little divots and things. This one's got a bit of green. There you go, you can see through that one. Try to get it. So you can see the green crystal around the edge with the very deep dark bronze in the middle. So that might cut an interesting star, and I love interesting stars. But I would like to see this one skin polish with a couple of concave areas there where there's already divots. Once again with this one, beautiful, beautiful sheen. It's got some interesting colour zones though. And I'm not sure, oh, it looks like a bit of a crocodile head there. I don't want to take off all that material from the high section there. So I'd like to have it skin polished too. I did do a skin polishing course, but I haven't had time to set up my skin polishing. set up as well as faceting. This one here, look at those beautiful, beautiful silk bands. Now, it's better suited to a skin polish. Cabochon, you'd probably lose too much material because that is the base, that is table. And then if I was to try to cab it, if I was to try to cabochon it, I would lose too much material. It's better off being skin polished or carved to really bring out that blue silk. Now these two little stars have been skin polished by a friend. And I'm trying to get some more skin polishing and concave faceting of stars done because I love them. The interesting thing is that when you have a star, sapphire, any concave or convex surface you put on it will throw a star. So if you have a nice star, sapphire, hang on, focus, in that concave area, you should have a star. And then on a convex area, you'll have a star. So you can have a star if it's big enough and put all these concaves and convexes on it, and you could have 10 stars or more on the same stone. I just love these silk bands, rutile bands, inclusions in our stones. I love stars. And here are some interesting sort of starry material that I have collected over the years. I like anything a bit different when it comes to stars. Different colour bands, colour zones. I don't mind leaving them a bit natural either, like this one. So out in strong sunlight, you would see a much better star. This is just something I love, is the different colour zones and crystal growths of sapphires. Yet another thing I love about sapphires is the beautiful crystal growths. I bought this green sapphire and I can't bear to cut it. Look at all those amazing little, it's like a little landscape in there. It looks like a mountain range or an Aztec building, ocean mountains, so many things. I'm never going to cut this one, and it's already really skin polished by nature. It's all nice and shiny. It's about 8 carats. And you can see those beautiful surface texture there that was made when the crystal was made. This is pretty much a whole crystal. Every surface you see there is a natural sapphire crystal surface of when it was first born. Get this pause thing right. Is that pause? No. Okay, this little crystal, how's that? How interesting is that? And once again, it has not been touched by human hands. It's like a whole crystal. You can see the hexagonal outline, and it's like a twin crystal or something. A little one that's growing on the top there. It's very cute, and it will never be cut. It is just one of my little specimens. Sorry for this going out of focus all the time. I'm Doing my best. There you go. Now look at that for some surface features. Amazing. Okay, pause. This one is really cool too. I've had this for a couple of years. It's like a starry kind of sapphire. And it's got all these beautiful surfaces. There's your star surface there. So that's table where you get that full sheen. One day I may skin polish it because I think it would be one of those ones that would come up with some absolutely beautiful stars. You could really get into it and carve it and make some amazing stars. But at the moment, I think it's about, what did I just weighed it? 35 carats or something like that. There's your sheen there. Okay, it's beautiful. And yet another thing I love about sapphires, the colour zoning in our beautiful party colours. And these are some that will never be cut. Most of them are quite shallow, but the colour zoning in them is just too nice to do anything with. I mean, they are natural crystal surfaces. Aren't they beautiful? Natural crystal surface. I know I should do something with them. I need to make them all up into rings or pendants or something. Another one of my favourite things about sapphire. Something else about sapphires. They are rare. Very rare to find a facetable, good quality, nicely coloured sapphire is rare. These are corundum and some little bits and pieces of zircon, and you can see by the size of my hand, they're just little, some of the corundum bits are bigger, but they're absolutely no good. And this is probably 99 out of 100 stones that you get when you are fossicking. You'll be lucky to get one little cutter a day. Be lucky to get a couple of little beautiful coloured cuttable sapphires in weeks or months. And for that one in a lifetime sapphire, well, that's one in a lifetime, isn't it? And if you're lucky, twice or three times, you never know. You go out fossicking for sapphires and it's just luck. It's just luck. And to a certain extent, being able to follow the land and look for the trace minerals, read the geology. But a lot of it is really luck. And here are some green sapphires from central Queensland. They're quite flat. I have been trying to source these stones for a while now, a couple of years, because I want to make a shamrock out of them, which is an Irish clover and a lucky symbol, and also the middle name of my beautiful son. So I love being able to think about unique ways of using sapphires, even ones that won't be particularly appealing to other people. They may not see any use in them. They're too thin, they can't be faceted. But this is my little collection here, and I just need to get some skin polishing or carving going on. and I'll be getting them made into a shamrock.